Hi everyone. So, we're all here today for the same reason, to get rich. And who better to guide us along the path to financial prosperity than the great master Warren Buffett? This man is a true living legend when it comes to investing and wealth creation. At 92, he is one of the richest men in the world, with an estimated fortune of over $100 billion. Can you believe it? $100 billion. Just thinking about it can almost make you dizzy. But beyond the astronomical figures, what's really fascinating is Warren Buffett's wisdom and philosophy of life. This man not only accumulated material wealth, he also developed a veritable science of investment and money management. And the good news is, he's generously shared his secrets with the world. Yes, you heard me right, the most famous billionaire on the planet has revealed his invaluable tips for getting rich. And guess what? I'm going to share them with you today, step by step. So, are you ready to discover the 8 essential things to do as soon as you get your paycheck, according to the teachings of Warren Buffett? If so, fasten your seatbelts, because we're about to dive into the fascinating world of one of the most brilliant investors of all time. But before we go any further, let me ask you a question: why would you take advice from a billionaire like Warren Buffett? Well, the reason is simple: this man has succeeded where so many others have failed. He built a financial empire from almost nothing, following simple but powerful principles. So, if you're ready to give your all to achieve your financial goals, work hard and put into practice the teachings of a true master, then this video is for you. Take a deep breath, and let me guide you through Warren Buffett's 8 key steps to riches. Step 1. Pay yourself first. The first thing to do as soon as you receive your salary is to pay yourself. And by that, I mean putting money aside for future savings and investments. Warren Buffett has always insisted on the importance of this fundamental step. Indeed, he believes that paying your expenses first is a recipe for impoverishment. Instead, he recommends systematically setting aside 10% of your income as soon as the money arrives in your account. Why 10%? Because it's a reasonable percentage that will allow you to save enough without tightening your belt too much. Of course, if you can put more aside, that's even better. But the key is to create this habit from the outset. By paying for your future investments first, you ensure that this money won't be spent on other things. It's a bit like paying yourself before paying anyone else. And believe me, this discipline is the key to building a solid long-term fortune. Warren Buffett himself started with modest sums, but by investing them intelligently year after year, he eventually became one of the richest men in the world. So, as soon as your salary drops, immediately put 10% aside in a savings or investment account. It's the first step to wealth according to the great Master Buffett. Step 2. Pay off your debts. Once you put money aside for yourself, the second crucial step is to pay off your debts. And Warren Buffett is categorical about this: debt is the #1 enemy of wealth creation. You see, when you have debt, whether it's a student loan, a credit card, or a mortgage, you pay interest. And that interest is literally money you're burning every month, every year. Worse still, debt can quickly become a crushing burden that keeps you from moving forward financially. Imagine you have $10,000 in debt with an interest rate of 15% per year. That means that every year, you'll have to pay $1,500 in interest alone. That's money you won't be able to invest or spend on your well-being. Warren Buffett has always advocated a sober, debt-free lifestyle. He believes it's the only way to be truly financially free and able to invest to create wealth. So, after setting aside some money for yourself, devote the rest of your monthly budget to methodically paying off your debts, starting with those with the highest interest rates. It's a process that can take time, but every debt you pay off is a victory that brings you a little closer to financial freedom. And believe me, when you're finally rid of that burden, you'll feel so light and ready to really start building your wealth. Step 3. Control your expenses. Now that you've paid off your future investments and repaid some of your debts, it's time to move on to the next step: controlling your spending. Warren Buffett is known for his relatively modest lifestyle, despite his colossal fortune. He has never given in to the temptation to overspend or indulge in unnecessary luxuries. On the contrary, he always advocated a philosophy of intelligent frugality. For him, every expense must be carefully evaluated and justified. Is it really necessary? Does it add real value to my life? If the answer is no, then it's best to refrain and save that money for productive investment. Of course, this doesn't mean you have to live like a monk or deprive yourself of all pleasure. Buffett himself admits to indulging in a few small luxuries from time to time, such as an excellent meal in a restaurant or a fine piece of quality clothing. But the most important thing is to keep strict control over your spending and avoid impulse buying or wasting money unnecessarily. A good strategy is to set yourself a reasonable monthly budget for non-essential expenses such as hobbies, restaurants, and so on. And then stick to that budget. You can also adopt techniques such as making shopping lists, comparing prices, buying secondhand whenever possible, and systematically asking yourself the question, do I really need it, before every purchase. The aim is to create a habit of responsible consumption where you control your money instead of letting it slip through your fingers. Warren Buffett likes to repeat this phrase, if you don't have the discipline to keep your small expenses under control, you'll never be able to manage large sums of money well. And he's absolutely right. The road to wealth starts with tight management of your day-to-day budget. Step 4. Invest in your education. Now that the foundations have been laid with savings, debt repayment, and spending control, let's move on to the next step advocated by Warren Buffett, investing in your own education. You see, one of the secrets of Buffett's success is his insatiable thirst for learning and constant self-education. Despite his colossal fortune, he continues to study, read, and keep abreast of the latest investment trends and opportunities. For him, education is the key that opens all doors. The more you know, the smarter you become in your investment and money management decisions. It's a virtuous circle, with more knowledge leading to more money. So, once you've followed the first 3 steps, devote part of your budget to training, whether by taking courses, buying books or online training, or attending seminars and conferences. Investing in your financial education is one of the best investments you can make. The skills and knowledge you acquire will serve you well for the rest of your life, enabling you to generate ever greater income. Buffett himself is a striking example. His success stems largely from his passion for learning and his mastery of investment concepts and financial analysis. Every penny he invested in his education paid off 100-fold. So don't hesitate to keep learning, whether it's about stock market techniques, real estate, online marketing, or any other promising field. The more you learn, the more your income-generating opportunities will multiply. Step 5. Diversify your sources of income. Once you've mastered the basics of money management and built up a solid base of knowledge, it's time to take the next step recommended by Warren Buffett: diversify your sources of income. You see, one of Buffett's great strengths is that he never put all his eggs in one basket. His immense fortune actually comes from many different investments, both in stocks, real estate, companies, and so on. And it's a winning strategy, because it has enabled him to reduce risk considerably. If one of his investments did badly, the others compensated. His diversification avoided violent financial shocks. What's more, having several sources of income gives you considerable financial security and freedom. You are no longer dependent on a single employer or activity. Should one of these activities go wrong, you have other sources of income to compensate. So once you've laid a solid foundation, start exploring different ways of earning money in addition to your main job. Invest in rental property, start a small online business, diversify your stock portfolio, and so on. The idea is to gradually build up a set of recurring, semi-passive incomes that will bring you a steady inflow of money, even if you stop working one day. This is the key to achieving true long-term financial independence. Of course, it takes work and effort at first. But in Buffett's words, the only way to truly become rich is by creating added value in this world. So diversify your activities intelligently to start creating that multiple value and income. Step 6. Be a patient and disciplined investor. Now that we've laid the groundwork and you've started to diversify your income streams, it's time to address a fundamental tenet of Warren Buffett's philosophy: be a patient and disciplined investor. You see, one of the reasons Buffett was so successful was that he never gave in to panic or emotional market movements. He always kept his cool and his long-term vision, even in the most turbulent times. For him, investing is not a game of chance or short-term speculation. It's a marathon where the key is to have a solid strategy, to do your analysis properly, and above all to be patient and disciplined in implementing it. How many people have lost everything by trying to make a quick profit, by giving in to fear or greed? Buffett, on the other hand, remains imperturbable. He waits for the right moment, the right opportunity, and never rushes. This patience enabled him to make sound investments at the best prices, when others were selling in panic. And his discipline prevented him from ruining everything afterwards by constantly changing course according to the mood of the market. So whether you're investing in the stock market, real estate, or businesses, apply this philosophy of the patient, disciplined investor. Define a clear strategy based on thorough analysis, and then execute it methodically without getting distracted by the ambient noise. Always keep your end goal in mind, and keep your cool, even when the going gets tough. It's this mental strength that will ultimately enable you to make profitable investments and capitalize on your gains, instead of losing them all. As Buffett so aptly put it, skill is nothing without the patience, discipline, and cool-headedness needed to exercise it properly. Make these qualities your allies on the road to financial success. Step 7. Get to the next. So far, we've covered many aspects of wealth creation according to Warren Buffett's philosophy. But his teachings are not limited to the selfish accumulation of material goods. Indeed, central to his thinking is the importance of giving back. For Buffett, true success is measured not only by accumulated wealth, but also by what you do to help others and contribute to a better world. That's why, once you've achieved a certain level of financial prosperity, Buffett would encourage you to give to the next, whether through philanthropy, volunteering, or simply being of service to those around you. You see, this billionaire man still leads a relatively modest and frugal life. He has no need to accumulate more wealth for himself. Instead, he has decided to donate the vast majority of his fortune to charity before his death. A gesture of unprecedented generosity. It goes to show that for Buffett, the ultimate achievement is to use his money, influence, and time to improve the conditions of millions of people in need. But you don't have to be a billionaire to apply this principle. As soon as you start making comfortable profits from your investments, consider donating a portion of them to organizations that are close to your heart. You can also give your time by volunteering for causes that inspire you. Or use your acquired skills to advise and help others to progress financially. Because, according to Buffett, wealth only has real meaning if it serves something greater than oneself. It's a way of creating a lasting positive impact around you. By giving to others, whether through money or concrete actions, you'll enter a virtuous circle where your success will in turn generate other successes. A great way to leave a rich legacy behind you. So once you've climbed the ladder to financial prosperity worthy of the name, don't forget Warren Buffett's essential precept: remember to give to the next in line, not only out of generosity, but also out of compassion for those in need. Step 8. Cultivate your wisdom. The final step, inspired by Warren Buffett's philosophy of life, is perhaps the most important: cultivate your wisdom. After all, becoming truly wealthy isn't just about accumulating material goods. For Buffett, genuine success comes first and foremost through the personal development of wisdom, inner peace, and deep values that will guide your choices and actions. You see, this man may be immensely wealthy, but he has never lost sight of the essentials: behaving with integrity, remaining humble, taking the long view, and placing the true meaning of life above mere financial considerations. It is this wisdom that has enabled him to keep his feet on the ground despite his immense fortune. To stay focused on his true priorities, such as family, friends, and health, rather than allowing himself to be blinded by money. Of course, achieving this level of wisdom is a lifetime's work. It requires personal development, self-examination, and the setting of real goals that go beyond the accumulation of wealth. But if you follow in Warren Buffett's footsteps, you'll soon realize that the path to a fulfilled life is not just about financial success. It's a broader balance of prosperity, wisdom, values, and inner serenity. So as your wealth grows, never forget to also cultivate that other, even more essential form of wealth, that of the mind, heart, and soul. Take time to reflect on the deeper meaning you wish to give to your life. Surround yourself with caring people who inspire you. And above all, stay humble and grounded, as the great Warren Buffett always did. That's how you'll achieve true success on all levels: financial, of course, but also, and above all, human. And that's it, we've come to the end of this in-depth exploration of the 8 key steps to wealth according to the invaluable teachings of Warren Buffett. I hope these words have inspired and motivated you to put these fundamental principles into practice in your own life. Remember, even the greatest investor of all time started at the bottom and worked his way up. With discipline, patience, a long-term vision, and a willingness to challenge yourself, you too can build lasting wealth and achieve that envied financial prosperity. But remember, true success isn't just measured by the numbers in your bank account. It also lies in what you give to the world, whether through philanthropy or the transmission of your knowledge. Finally, cultivate the wisdom that will keep you in balance as your wealth grows. Because, in the end, what really counts is to be at peace with yourself and to have given profound meaning to your existence. On that note, I hope you will apply Warren Buffett's sound advice with perseverance and determination. And who knows, maybe one day we'll find ourselves on the list of the world's wealthiest people.